Let's do a catch up here. It's been a little while since I did an update. Let's see what's been going on. Uh, Occasionally I'll experiment with going off my drugs for a few days, maybe a week or something, but I went off from about July 20th to about August 15th. Yeah, about a week ago I went back on. A little more, it's about the 15th, so about 3 weeks, a little more than 3 weeks I was off. And normally it takes me, a week to get like adjusted to this thing. Sort of the, I don't know, I guess you'd call it mania. The mind becomes more active, and you sort of have to get used to that. I did notice this time around, though, it seemed like it was getting harder, not so much because of that, but because it just seemed like I was impatient. I've got 2 kids always nagging me for something, and but it wasn't a big deal. But nothing. Anyways, I just noticed that I seem to be a little bit more irritable. But that went astray when. But then I had to rethink things when one second. There was an incident with my mother in which I guess legally I could have been in trouble, even gone to jail for this. I was escorting her out and she resisted and fell down and busted up her nose, mouth a little bit, bruised mouth. That's the quick and the long story is that I've noticed women have a tendency to say the most repulsive things to me. Donna especially. I got out of that relationship because I couldn't. I just got away. I couldn't take it anymore. I just didn't like conflict all the time. And Kathy got in my face. I was asking her to not feed Nicole because she's getting fat. So she said, "No, I'll feed her if I want." And I thought that was disrespectful of my wishes. And I said, "Can you please leave?" And she said, "Well." She came over to pick up Nicole, and she's like, "Well, I want to leave with Nicole." I said, "No, we need a little time out. Just leave." She said, "Well, I'll take you to court over the kids." And I just thought that was just unbelievably repulsive, right? So I was pushing her out, and she was going out, and the door was open, and she was on her way out, and then she stopped. And next thing you know, as I'm still applying the force, and boom, she falls over, and it's a big ugly mess because she's now got a bloody nose and she had a bruised lip the following day, and it's bruised up here. It wasn't pretty, so it didn't seem like I personally don't think I did anything wrong. I was escorting her out of my place, and she stopped, and I didn't know she was stopping. It was kind of an accident. It was an accident, and we understand that we were talking within. I mean, it was a horrible scene. The kids were freaking out, and it wasn't good. It was just I just it was just 10 seconds of get out. I need you out right now, and in her resisting, her stopping right there in the midstream, it caused a big scene, which legally, I guess it's called battery. It's not just assault, but it's battery, where you're actually touching somebody and putting harm on them. It's weird because I don't think I did anything wrong. At the same time, legally, I was in trouble. She didn't report to the police, but I did, not to get her in trouble, not to get anybody in trouble, but to just report that I'm concerned for my safety, in some sense my safety, because I don't need somebody coming over saying something really stupid and offensive to me, and then this occurred. Right? It wasn't a proud moment. I wasn't, like I said, it was an accident. But in reporting it to the police, I almost got if Kathy, she had the option to file charges when I She did, and it was just, it was just, we understood that it was just, something that happens, and that's the thing about our family, is that we're pretty cool about our arguments. We don't hold too much of a grudge. We were talking within 3 hours. I mean, she's all banged up, and we're talking about fixing a computer, and 3 hours later, over the phone. So it is. These things just happen with us, and at some time I'll talk about what happened with Donna. What I felt was I had to be abusive in order to keep her constrained. And I didn't like that, and part of the reason why I called the police is that I didn't like that situation in which I have to restrain people or get upset because of their mouth. Donna was absolutely repulsive, and Kathy can be that way too, and so. What else? Anyways, when Dylan, my son, both Dylan and Nicole saw this thing, and they were horrified. Dylan's just in a panic for probably about 6 hours, and he's like telling me, Chris, if you were to talk to anybody about this, they tell you you're wrong. So I called up Scott Hammerschmidt, and this was not right away. This was like 3 days later. I think on a Sunday, so it'll be 2 days. It was on a Friday, so it's 2 days later. Told him about this, and I just and he pretty much agreed with Dylan. He's like, I wouldn't have done that to my mom. I know people don't understand. There's a heat of the moment. There's just 10 seconds that you need to. Everybody needs to clear space, and if that doesn't happen, it's just like accidents happen, Even with your mom, and my mom has a mouth, so it is. I have to hang up on her quite occasionally, quite frequently over the phone because she's disrespectful and doesn't understand my viewpoint, and so. But it's interesting I told Kathy that. I told Scott Hammerschmidt. She's like, "Oh, Chris, you shouldn't have said anything. I'm just trying to keep this quiet."
What you doing now?
And I'm like, yeah, I suppose telling Scott might be like telling the whole town. I suppose that could be. And I guess it's kind of bad for. It just looks pretty bad when a mentally ill guy that has been accused from GE of the potential of harming somebody. That's why they fired me. And a guy that doesn't have to get physical with anybody, despite the fact that he's in constant danger. Me. Talking about me. The two people that I had to constrain is Donna and my mom. And partially the reason what happened with my mom is because of the nature of the relationship that I had with Donna, that I became, physical, to shut her up, to keep her constrained, and that's kind of why I got out of Dodge. That's why I got out of there, because it was just getting bad. Her mouth just kept going, and never, it's like an ever-ready bunny, just never shut up. And I was stupid to even move in with that lady, but the problem was that it got me in a mode where I don't take it anymore. I don't take that crap anymore. And when, like I said, Kathy wasn't the same way. It wasn't the same way as but Kathy was way abusive. I mean, one time Donna said to me, "Oh, I'm so glad you can't be with your children. Oh, I'm so glad." This was back in like January or February, and I vowed never to touch her again, except to call I would be calling the police. That's why I called the police a number of times. But when she said that, I grabbed her hair, and in the heat of the rage, I mean, it's just, the 10 seconds, you gotta get over that 10 seconds when somebody says something that repulsive. There's just 10 seconds that occurs that, I mean, there's no reason to be saying that. It's just the stupidest thing. It's the most repulsive. It's the most offensive thing to be saying. I do not experience this from guys, and they're trying to kill me. It is women that are just utterly repulsive to me. Anyways, so when I did that with Donna, I told her that was it. I started making arrangements to start moving. I had to kind of wait for bowling to get done with there. But I finally got out of there, and it was a good move. So part of the reason why I called the police is because I'm afraid for my safety. I'm afraid to go to jail. If somebody comes in my presence, says something utterly repulsive and disrespectful, and if they don't get out of my way when I ask them, it's like, I guess you can't touch anybody. You can't touch them. I guess that's why I'm protected or something. Partly, I mean, why? I mean, people want to kill me. I guess they can't even touch me. But I mean, it's like, but women in general over the past 4 years have been utterly repulsive to me. And I guess after Donna, I wasn't going to take this anymore. I don't try to talk to women anymore. I don't try to associate with them because I think they're just, I don't know, I feel sorry for them, or they're just jerks or what. But I'm kind of out of that mold where I talk to women. I just don't do that anymore. I've learned everything I think I need to know. They're a bunch of losers. So, and in some aspects, my mom is too. So, I just wish she wasn't repulsive. She does this a lot. She just says some of the most repulsive things to me. Anyway, so, but it doesn't look good when a guy that's mentally ill, been accused in the past of being dangerous. When I say to a police officer that I'm God, they think that I'm dangerous, or that dangerous to myself, society. Thus, they cage me up. So with all this thing, I don't need to be getting touchy with anybody. So this concerns me. I called the police because I was concerned that I'm not sure what to do with my mom. How can I have a relationship with somebody that's going to say something stupid to me, and then not respect me when I say get out? So, I mean, I don't know what else I could have done. It's not like I can go inside my house more. I was already in my house, I just, anyways, it's a tough situation, really tough situation. And, yeah, I have such low respect for women. I cannot make it any simpler statement than that. But I do love my mom, and we understand that was an accident, and Donna didn't ever get the police involvement. I was the one that got police involvement with Donna to protect me, and the same way with my mother. So I feel like I do not like the situation that occurred, and I do not know if I can just get out of town and never talk to my mom again. I'm not sure that it can occur. I did it with Donna, I'm not sure I can do that with my mother, and that's what my concern is. I'm scared that for her health, luckily she's going to be okay, but I'm just scared for everything. So I hate to think that when I was off my drugs that this occurred because I was a little bit more irritable. I think that, yes, I was a little bit more irritable at the time, and so I decided that I was just happier on my drugs. 2 or 3 people had told me, yeah, Chris, you shouldn't be on those drugs. That stuff's bad for you. And so I took their advice. I tried it. But I'm not saying that argument with Kathy occurred because that incident with Kathy because of the drugs. But maybe a little bit there, being a little bit more irritable. Anyway, so I decided to go back on it, and I'm happier that way. So, yeah, 2 guys from the internet and 1 guy, a friend from over the phone, was recommending no drugs. So, anyways, an experiment that I personally didn't like the feeling because I was a little bit irritable. I got a lot of stuff done. I became more musical. My music abilities kicked into high gear. I was more creative, things like that. So there's things that I'm going to kind of miss. At the same time, I think that jump-started me enough. In other words, I went off long enough to jump-start me, to get me going, and I think that since I've been on the drugs that my abilities are still there. I pretty much will say that I will. It's just the genius ability is there when I'm off the drugs. The huge genius is just. It probably would have taken a couple of weeks, more weeks to get sort of to get back to the normal state. I thought it took a week, but it was taking 3 weeks at this point, and it was just but yeah, it I was getting a lot done. It seemed like I was constantly busy trying to get things done, but in this state, on this drug state, I guess I'm a little bit more relaxed. It seems like I got a clearer thinking head because I don't have so much going on in my head. And it's clearer thinking. I can get, in some sense, a little bit more organized. It is just that I was trying to get everything done. I was constantly thinking about all the things that need to get done, and I didn't know that could be a bad thing, but that's probably what everybody's normal state is. They got probably about freaking 20 things going on in their mind to get done, and for some reason that's bad for me. I don't know. It wasn't bad. Like I say, I'd probably still be off them if the thing with Kathy didn't occur, but I am happier on the drugs. I am happier on the drugs. My tennis ability wasn't better off the drugs. So I don't know. The amount I'm taking right now seems to be the right amount to keep me happy. The drugs are like a happy pill. They let you forget about some of the worries in life. But again, it's kind of weird that other people got 20 things they're worrying about on a daily basis, and I'm only allowed 2 or 3. So, luckily my life is fairly simple to begin with. That way I don't have like 20 things going on at the same time. Some people really complicate their lives. And that can wear you down. So again, this is embarrassing for me and my mom, and you know, she did say that I could maybe post this, but I mean, not maybe. She did say she was. She doesn't want everybody to know and doesn't want everybody to be sorry for her or me or judge me. But this thing happened, and I just kind of want to take note that it happened, and it's Anyways, so I went to this party. Carrie had a 40th birthday party last Saturday, a couple days ago, and I mean, everybody there knew that I'd pushed down my mom. I'm not sure how they knew, but it was an uncomfortable feeling. Because it brought clear the notion. I mean, I had forgotten about this thing, and I show up at the party and I just get this psychic vibe that I am a mom beater, and it was uncomfortable. I almost couldn't stay the first hour, but it's you're mentally ill. You've the notion that I could be dangerous, and then I'm pushing down my mom. At least that's what it looks like. See, it's kind of like a cup. What holds up the cup? Is gravity pushing down the cup on the table, or is the table pushing up on the cup? Kind of like my mom. I'm escorting her out, and she stops. Is she falling down, or am I pushing her down? That's the question. Like I say, I personally feel like I did nothing wrong. It was an accident. Legally, though, that's a different story. Kind of a bad situation that I do not want to experience again. But at this Carrie's party, it was, it just kind of hit home what it means for a mentally ill guy. I was talking with a lady there about my impressions of the people and the psychic vibe I'm getting, and told her that I was mentally ill, and it's just a bad situation, a bad thing for me to be involved with. That I have to deal with offensive ladies that say the most stupid and repulsive things to me in my life. And I just have to sit there and take it and leave. It is like they're lashing out with a punch to my face. So I think I've decided that what I'm going to do is open up my mouth a little more. That if ladies want to be stupid to my face, that I will just think up the most repulsive thing in return as a voice, because there's nothing illegal about that. And that's not exactly something I'd be proud of either. I don't think that that's right either. But it's the only thing that's going to make me happy, I guess. Or at least soothe the fire that builds when somebody says something stupid to me. So. Went to Valley Fair with Scott Hammerschmidt. That was fun. Nothing too eventful about that day. It was just a fun day. That was on, we went on a Thursday before the incident with my mom. My mom thing occurred the day after. I'm working on fixing up Scott, or getting their recording studio operational so they can start recording people themselves, us first, and then other people. I'm working on getting a device that will help in that situation digitally. So they have analog set up right now, a tape deck to record, and I'm just branching into the digital world for them. Learning a lot in my music stuff. Really enjoying playing music again. I guess that's probably what's going to keep me busy for the next 10 months while my kids aren't here. At least I hope so. I hope to be very musically talented here by next year. Let's keep that up. Hopefully that all works out. This band thing, BoomerangMN.com was taken. Somebody had gotten it somehow. It expired in we didn't renew it, and somebody's got it, and so we don't know the name of the band. I've got Freakified. They don't want that, so I'm just like, give me a name and I'll get the website brewing. And I don't know. This thing is, we got a drummer temporarily, but we're still wondering if this thing's going to take off. I feel it is, and I'm personally taking off myself. I hope that we can find a drummer and get this thing moving. I've doing some advertising for Truth Under Oath and two different agencies. One of them hasn't produced anything, so I'm trying to get a refund for that. I'm having a little difficulty. The other one is they're doing a partial job, and the problem is I gave them the money up front for 4 months, and so they're they are like in partial agreement with the contract, and they're saying that they are in agreement, and they're not. So it's I'm dealing with that right now. Anyways, they say in advertising, if you don't spend money, you're not going to get any money. You got to spend money in order to make money. So I'm trying some stuff with Truth Under Oath and advertising. Give it a shot, and it's called Breakthrough. They seem to think that I do polygraphs. That's all I do. I'm trying to tell them I do legal services, and it's just a big mess that I should not have gotten into, I guess. At least I thought that I was protected under a contract. So, and my hair, you can see my hair with the darkness in here, it looks better, but I'm having another bout with hair loss that I'm not sure that I can win. So, at least it seems like I'm losing some more hair. So what else is, I think that's about it. Played a gig, I'll show you the audio for, played a gig on Scott Hammersmith to add on to the misery of, when I told them about my mom, they were just pretty much figuring that I'm going to be going to jail. So I let them know that I did go to jail, and it was a joke, but I did let it kind of like ferment for a couple days before I told them. I guess it's part of how I can get back at people is if I feel that they're kind of like offensive to me, I'll play a practical joke or something to go along with their inhibitions in life. If they're afraid that I'm going to be dangerous or go to jail, or I sometimes will feed them what they need, make them happy. Kind of makes me happy, makes them happy at the same time. Anyways, it's kind of a joke, but kind of a way to get back at Scott sometimes, the way he conducts himself. But oh well, I think that's it. Kids are here for another week, and then they're gone, and then it's back to by myself here, and hopefully this music thing will keep me going. It's been keeping me going while the kids are here, so they should. I want to get all the songs learned. I just want to get this thing going and get on the road and play a gig for once. I've got two good people. Scott and Kenny are really good musicians, and with my technical background, it's sort of a nice meshing. They're not very technical, but very musical. I'm trying to get my technical and merge our abilities to become a cohesive unit as one. Just need a drummer. So, and we're working on getting a girl for the band. We tried out one last week. So, let's see how that goes.
Hi, you've reached Danica Zarfus Kidd at the Bureau of Justice Assistance. I'm sorry I missed your call. Please leave me your name and number, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Have a great day. Bye.
Hi, Danica. Chris Roller with Truth Under Oath, wrongful conviction grant I'm looking for. I I got to disconnect the number from Andrew Malloy, and it appears as though it's best to just not talk to me. I have to explain myself a little bit. If you had the most incredible thing the planet's ever witnessed, which is what I claim is happening, called Truth Under Oath, it affects your legal system, prevents people from lying under oath. It is the best thing ever that's going to ever occur. It's the only miracle on the planet. If you did that, picture me, that I'm trying to get some money from this, and I'm sorry if I appear to be annoying, but it really is a big thing to me, and it's a big thing to the planet. And I wanted to talk to Andrew Malloy again, your supervisor, to further explain what's going on. I've got like 5 angles of this thing happening, plenty of evidence. I don't know why I need a grant, but I have applied for a grant. I would like some money for this. It's truly awesome. I suspect that avoiding this thing, like all the lawyers and judges are doing, and there's plenty of proof that they just try to avoid this thing. And I can show you this, and imagine if you were in my spot, you would want to get money for this, and you would be persistent. That's what I'm doing. I'm being persistent on something that's really incredible. So if I could get Andrew's new phone number, that would be nice. My number is 507-637-0918. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Let's see, what's tomorrow, Monday? Maybe tomorrow I might get a chance to go up to the store in the morning. Maybe if I get it up there tonight, when I wake up in the morning, I could go up and work on it and try to get it done. Just in case you'd have some time tomorrow afternoon. I don't know, does that sound like something you could do, or are you there?
Oh, okay, what do you need me to do?
If I got it done by noon tomorrow, would that make any difference?
Oh, well.
I mean, would you have the afternoon to mess with it, or is your day full tomorrow where it doesn't matter if I don't get it done because you won't have time to mess with it anyway? Or
Yeah, don't put any pressure on yourself. I was just asking. No pressure.
Well, I got to get it done at some point anyway. But if sooner I get it done, it might give you a chance to mess around with it.
I'd actually have a better opportunity on, say, Tuesday. But Monday's I got a court document to submit by tomorrow. I got a deadline, so that's what I've been working on here today.
Well, by Tuesday, if I had it done, you could mess around with it.
Tuesday would be a better day, yeah.
Okay, well, let me do the same thing like I just said. I'll try to get it up to the store tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'll try to get it clean. So even if you can't do nothing with it until Tuesday, at least I get it done. Because when I go in on Tuesday to the store, I got to make some money there. I got to work on some framing. Because, so if I get it done on Tuesday while I'm at the store, even if I'm not there and you're out at the studio, at least maybe you could play with it out here even if I'm not there.
Yeah, I mean, if you get it done tomorrow, I'll have to practice my songs and get that all. If I'm all set, then I can come out to the studio early, say 5 or 6-ish,
Well, anyway, so I'll see if I could get it done. I got to go and put at least 2 screws in the top to keep it from moving around.
Yeah.
Then I got to have somebody help me load it. But I got a fairly empty pickup now. I probably could get it in there. So I'll see if I can get that done after supper. Maybe Curly can help me load it in the truck because he's coming out to practice with me and Luke.
You have a free incoming call, so this call's not costing you anything, right?
Yeah, it doesn't cost me anything.
Okay, so do you have like 5-10 more minutes? I got a story I could talk to you about.
Okay, tell me, was this a story? Was this a story you called me about the other day?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
An incident occurred on Friday with my mom, and so Nicole's getting pretty pudgy, right?
Yeah.
So I asked Kathy, who's been, I think, feeding her junk food and chocolate and all that sweets, and so I was asking her, can you stop feeding her or stop whatever you're doing, just kind of chill out on
the sweets, right?
Yeah, stop feeding. Stop. whatever's she's taking in, let's just minimize it. Let's just stop. Let's work on keeping her trim. It's got me a little concerned, right?
Yep.
So, she said, no, I'll feed her if I feel like it. That's what she said. And I said, listen, I feel, can you just leave? Nicole will stay here. She came over to pick her up. Nicole's usually been coming over to Kathy's for every day. And I just didn't think that was a respectful response. So I said, can you just leave? And she said, and Dylan, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Dylan was saying this story, if I was to talk about the story with somebody, how you would perceive it. But, so Dylan, be sure to correct me. Anyways, I'm going to give you the final thing is that Kathy ended up falling out, hitting her face on the floor, doing a face plant. Because I pushed her out. I pushed her out the door. She did a face plant. Now, I'm telling you the end now. What led up to it was that I told you part of it. She said, "No, I'll feed her if I feel like it." And I said, "Listen, Nicole will stay here." She says, "No, she'll come with me. I'll take you to court if I need to." I said, "Get out, just get out, just get out." And she planted herself right at the door, and I was just trying to get her out the door, pushing her on her shoulder, and she didn't move her feet, and she did a face plant and got pretty bruised. Well, yeah, got a bloody nose and her lips messed up today and stuff. So Dylan was saying the kids were just crying. They were just freaking out. It was a pretty horrible scene. And Dylan was saying.
And this was at your apartment?
Yeah, yeah. And so Dylan was saying if I was to relay this story to anybody, that they would agree that I was incorrect in what I did.
For what you did?
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about the physical part of it.
Well,
I'm thinking.
I wasn't trying to do that. It's just that I was trying to get her out of the.
Was it?
The door was.
Well, after she got hurt, what did you go out and say? Are you okay, Mom? Can I help you? Or didn't you do that?
Well, we gathered ourselves and she had some more of a lip after that. When she had some more of a lip, she kept having more of a lip. I said, just get out, just get out, just get out. And you know, we tended the bloody nose and you know, she's saying I broke her nose, which luckily that didn't happen. She just had a blade. It's got some bruising. She's got some bruising. I did apologize. I said, for what it's worth, I do apologize. And she came up with some smart ass thing, or you know, about, well, yeah, well, to tell that to the doctor, you know, it was gonna. Anyways, I'm under the impression I didn't do anything, or that, in other words, okay, what I mean is, it's like the chicken and the egg. Did her not moving out of my door cause the falling, or did me pushing her out of the door cause the falling? It's kind of one of those things where it's kind of like where I'm just trying to exercise a little control over my family, and I feel like I'm being disrespected. And you know, I wasn't trying to hurt her. I was just trying to get her out the door.
Right. Right. I see that. Huh. I'm having a hard time understanding that I can understand the argument. I can understand that, but I'm trying to understand the physical part where you would. I don't think I would ever push my mom. I would never do that, even if she stood in the way. This is my opinion. This is what I would have done, and that doesn't mean it's the right thing. But I probably would have never pushed one of my parents. I'd never done that. Even if I didn't want them here, I'd say, get out. And if they say, well, I'm not going to go, then I'd say, well, I'm going to go. And then I would leave to avoid any further conflicts, arguments, and I'd leave them standing there, and I would leave. But I could never see myself physically pushing anybody. but that's never been me, because I don't, physical contact is not what I always try to. It doesn't mean I don't argue and holler and get mad, because I do that, but I just draw the line maybe, and so I don't know if I would have did that, but maybe
it's not something.
Maybe when yeah.
It's not something I'm exactly thrilled about. But I just felt that.
I probably, if I would have saw my mom fall down and get hurt, I would have been scared, and I would have been feeling really guilty and said, "Are you okay, Mom? Can I help you?" And I would have tried to help her, pick her up, and said, "Come in here and let me take a look at that. I'm sorry that happened." And that's the way I would have done it. I would have regretted instantly that I would have done it, but if she was coming back at your face, hollering at you, and maybe I would have reacted different, because my parents aren't that way. So, and my parents have never done anything to hurt us, or So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm actually considering, making a police report on this. That's kind of what I'm talking. I just want to document what happened with. I don't know. I just.
You might want to do that, Roller. It might be a good idea for you to at least, and they might go over and they might probably go over to her place and get the story from her. But if you give them the story that it was an accident and you didn't mean to hurt her, that she tripped or you pushed her to get her out of your doorway because you didn't want her there anymore, and then she didn't move and she fell over when you pushed her, and that you felt bad that she fell, maybe it's going to look like it was an accident on the police report, that you didn't mean to hurt her, and then you apologize. But you might want to do that, just because in the future, if somebody tries to pile some evidence up with you, they might come back and find some negative thing, But what did your kids perceive after she left then? Were they mad at you, or did they go with her, or what?
Well, Dylan was just utterly pissed off, and for me for the entire day. He's thinking that I was completely in the wrong, and that's what he said. I dare you to call anybody up and tell them what happened, and they would agree that I was in the wrong. And I had a lot going on that day. That's kind of when I came over and fixed your mixer, or we went over there. I just had a lot of stuff going on that day, right?
Let me ask you this, Roller. The fact that you're spending time with the band and helping other people with their computers, is this something that maybe you should back off on until the kids go, so you could spend some more quality time with them? I mean, if you weren't doing these things with the band or helping other people with their problems, would you be taking the kids to the park, or would you be taking the kids swimming and spending more quality time with them? Maybe that's what you should be doing the last 2 weeks they're here.
Scott, what I'm going to appeal to the police is that I don't appreciate my mom being a smartass to me. In other words, as long as you respect my wishes and my family. By the way, she threatened to take me to court for the kids because she felt like she could just feed my kids fat. That's the deal. That's what's wrong. It's not about being too busy. It's about my mother is a smartass.
Well, or your mother thinks she knows better than you. That's what it's two different opinions on how to raise your kids.
It's about a lack of respect that if I say, and this is everybody's saying it, that Nicole needs to lose some weight. So I'm just, but
you were just concerned. Yep.
Yeah, it was Kathy's lack of concern and her just completely off-center. Well, I'll feed her if I feel like it. Lack of respect, lack of. It's not about am I too busy, Scott. It's about I expect a little bit of respect from people, and Kathy gives none to me.
Yeah. Let me ask you: does Nicole think that there's a problem with her weight? I mean, have you mentioned that to her before?
Yes, I've talked to her about it. Yes.
So she thinks, or she knows, or feels that you think there's a problem there, right? I mean, she
Yes.
thinks that you think, okay,
Yeah, she
okay.
Yes.
You ever sit down with her and talk and say, Nicole, can we try to tackle this problem and help you out a little bit? I mean, so she understands that there's a problem with her, right? I mean, that you guys should be watching that weight thing, right? So she understands that. But then again, did you ever talk to your mom about it? Does your mom know that you're concerned about it? I mean, because if your mom knows you're concerned about it and she chooses not to help you with it, then I would be mad at her too. Because you're obviously doing it for the girl's health. And your mom, which grandparents tend to do, they tend to try to be nice to the grandchildren and make them happy versus thinking about what their health things are, you know. But I don't know.
So
Your mom is,
So you
yeah.
you would leave your own house instead of asking her to leave.
I would have. I would have just out of the respect for my parent. Just because I know that if she's not going to move, I'm not going to physically have any altercations with her. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, well,
So I would just say, well, you know, if you're not going to. Then I would have probably said, if you're not going to move, then I'm going to go and talk to the police and see if they can come and move you. That's probably what I would have did.
Yeah, there was a heat of the moment that kind of like, you know, that just things just sort of happened, right? I mean, so there wasn't, you know, this whole thing took place in approximately 30 to 30 seconds.
Yeah, I know. It was something that happened so quick. Well, I don't know what to tell you. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea, like you said, to file a report. Esther, you got a different knife. This one's kind of dull. Okay. There we go. That's much better. So now, are the kids still mad at you?
I don't think so. I don't think Nicole ever was, but I think Dylan got over it.
Uh-huh. Well, I guess I know what I would do, but I would probably call your mom up and say, Mom, can we sit down and talk about this thing? And then if she's too irate yet, then you say, well, you know, Mom, you know, if we can't sit down and talk about this thing, then we're never going to be able to be friends if you can't sit down and talk to me about this problem with the kid.
No,
you know.
we were talking that afternoon. We were talking about fixing the computer and stuff, and you know, it's one of these things that sort of happened. You know, that one argument that we had that one time, right? That confusion over at your place.
Yeah.
Well, the same. I mean, we didn't talk for a month or something, but me and Kathy talked within about 3 or 4 hours later. It is just, you know, we understand that things happen, and you were kind of holding a grudge for a while, and it's kind of like, you know, just these, you know, arguments happen, and we just, you know, kind of forgive and forget. In other words, we would have talked within 3 hours after that argument, if it was me and my family.
Well, you're obviously doing pretty good if you can patch it up that quickly.
No, it's,
you know.
It's just right. No, we were talking 3 or 4 hours, and you know, it's just. Okay.
Well, I think you got it all, but I would be working on that. I think you need to sit down and have more calm discussions with your mom about the children and about what's to benefit the children. You know, what's good for the children. No, I'll drink this, Esther. So,
Yeah, it's
I think that's one thing that you even should sit down at a basis of every 2 or 3 days, and so that the parents know what's happening and what your plans are and what you're going to do, and what your problems are with the kids as far as the eating problems or the spending money problems or things like that, so they understand what you're dealing with, and they can help you and work with you instead of deciding they're going to do what they want. Well, Roland, you think I can eat my supper?
okay. Yep. Thank you for talking. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I just want to report something that occurred on Friday. It was Friday the 13th, August 13th. My mother, quick and dirty, is we had an incident with my mother in which it might appear as though I pushed her over and she fell on her face, did a face plant, got a bloody nose, and she's got a bruised up lip in the days afterwards. And the whole scene was very ugly. It was very ugly. It started when I asked my mother, Kathy, to stop overfeeding Nicole or feeding her junk food to help trim her up. She's getting really chunky and fat, and I asked Kathy, my mother, to please stop, feeding her. Do your best to, keep her from getting fat. And she said, she'd come back, well, I'll feed her if I want to. And so I said, listen, then I don't want you to take Nicole today. She comes over to pick up Nicole for the day and then brings her back at night. So she's in the morning, about 11ish. And she says, no, I want to take Nicole. I said, well, listen, just leave. You're not respecting my word. So she said, well, I'll take you to court over the kids. And it was just so volatile that I said, let's get out. And I started escorting her out. We got the door open. She starts walking out. And then she decides to resist. She plants her feet solid, and I'm still applying force on her shoulders, and she fell over onto her face. And it was ugly. It was a scene from hell. And I'm trying to document this because my name's Chris Roller, and I have a history in this town of being a troublemaker. That I am mentally ill, and that I say that I'm God. Well, whenever an incident like this occurs, it looks bad for me. I am the first culprit. It looks like I've pushed my mother over and harmed her. When in fact, what I'm trying to state is that she resisted. She actually, I'm trying to say that she fell over on her own by the fact of the resisting, the all of a sudden the stop, the stopping of the exit out the door caused her injury. And but the perception, and even in her eyes, and in my family's eyes, is that I have pushed my mother over, and that Chris Roller must be having a spell again, because he has harmed somebody, and being a mentally ill guy, who says he's God, this is the problem. And so I'm making a report to the police because I am concerned a little bit for myself. Not a little bit. I'm concerned for my safety and my welfare, and that I want to be heard that I did nothing wrong here. That in my house, I wished for my daughter to get trimmer because she's getting fat. That Kathy was disrespectful for my family needs, disrespectful to me. Threatens to take my kids away from the court, which is just a ridiculous, stupid statement. She has no control. I don't even have control over my kids. I have my kids for 2 months in the summer, and I don't even have control of getting my kids back from my wife. So it's just a stupid, ludicrous statement that all it does is create volatility. And I was trying to escort her out, and she stopped cold on the way out, and this happened. So part of what I'm calling as well is I don't think Kathy realizes just how volatile of a mouth she has. Just the lack of disrespect for my needs. That's what caused this, and I'm concerned that this may happen again. I get into arguments with Kathy because she doesn't realize how silly she sounds over the phone. It's silly/stupid, and she doesn't even realize that she doesn't sound stupid. She thinks that she's doing everything right and that she makes sense. So I guess I'm hoping that the police or somebody would contact Kathy, and perhaps I've been asking Kathy to go to counseling. Maybe we can go to counseling, but she resists this. I just want to point out an analogy. A cup on a table. Is gravity holding the cup down, or is the table holding the cup up? Similarly, did I push my mom over and hurt her, or did she hurt herself? I'm stating that she hurt herself by disobeying, disrespecting my needs. And we have an agreement, me and Kathy have an agreement. We've had an issue where if I'm in her house and she has a problem with me, that we leave immediately. And so she disobeyed that agreement by not leaving. Well, she was on her way out, and then she stopped, and that was the problem. That's what caused the harm. And luckily, I don't think there's going to be. Luckily, there's no hospital bill yet. There won't be, and I think she's going to heal. She's a bit black and blue right now in her lip. So luckily, nothing long term is going to occur. I mean, I could have broken a bone or something. I mean, an old lady, she's 63 or something, and this concerns me that this has occurred. And if I could do it over, of course I would have contacted the police. It was just this whole thing took place in a matter of 10 to 20 seconds, and she was on her way out. The door was open. She was on her way out, and she stopped. It was just a scene from hell that didn't mean to occur. But it looks bad on me, when in fact it's Kathy that I think has the problem, and I wish for her to seek help. Whether it's counseling with just her or with her and me, she doesn't seem to realize that she has a problem, and I'm just trying to make it known that maybe in her old age she's becoming a little bit, I don't know what the word is, stubborn, or dementia is probably the word I was thinking of. Just unaware of how offensive she can be. To me, I don't know if she exhibits this with my other family members. I've noticed that women have a tendency to say the most volatile things to me, just in general. But my mother, who I love, is close to me, and I'm scared that this could occur again. I'm just trying to prevent. I was emailing her. I was trying to say, listen, I don't want this to ever occur again. I'm not sure how that's. It's almost. I left the cities because of a girlfriend that was. I just had to leave because of the arguments that we were in. I just didn't want anything to happen. But it's kind of hard to leave your mom. So I'm scared that that something could occur. So I would like somebody to talk to her or something, or get her to understand that she needs to be a little bit more respectful. I tried to avoid conflict, but in this case, it was just there was just circumstances that went out of control accidentally, and it's like it's hard to prevent something that occurred in like 10-20 seconds, and unintentionally things went awry. And like I said, luckily in this case, there's going to be no long-term issues. But I mean, it's hard to it's harder to say I cannot talk to my mom in the future, or I should just completely avoid her, just because she has a volatile mouth. She has no idea she says these things and how they come across in this fashion. And I guess I'm only human, and I just wanted her out of my apartment so that I could, get things in order. And she resisted. It was just, I guess I'm just concerned that this could happen again. Anyways, I have to hang up on the phone a lot with her just because she sounds so silly and stupid. Making no sense. She thinks she makes sense. Anyways, like I say, I think there's a phenomenon that women have a way of being disrespectful and volatile in my presence, and it's too bad that Kathy's won, because it's hard to stay away from her life. So I'm going to make a police report to help document this, and my goal here is to show that I did nothing wrong. That I am sorry that this occurred. I'm sorry that Kathy's disobedient and that she stopped at the last second and got her face smashed. But I want to say that I did nothing wrong, that Kathy is in the wrong here. Now, I'm pretty sure that my family members heard about this and are thinking that perhaps I need some medical help, something. I was just getting the impression that Kathy was coming over in the next few days, and I was just getting the impression that it was almost a setup, a trap or something, to see if I'd become irate again. But this is what concerns me, that because I'm mentally ill, that I need a hospitalization or something. And this is not true. I'm stating that I did nothing wrong, that Kathy was in the wrong 100%. That yes, I am sorry that I applied that pressure, but she stopped cold, and it was an accident. But it's her fault. That's what I'm trying to say. That she did the wrong. And so, 1 second. There was another story the following day, a Saturday, which would lead my parents and my family, and perhaps some of the community here. I don't know who if she was talking with anybody about watching me, but I got excited again in an argument. And what happened there is somebody from the Bahamas, a cousin, a relative, put $50 in the hands of 2 children to be responsible for $50 to get a game for them, and we were missing the $50. So there was a question about did we actually find the money, and I was told that this money had $5 Bahamian in it. The kids are from the Bahamas, so there's $5 Bahamian in there. So I asked to see the $5 Bahamian to assure me that they actually found it. You see, I suspect that my mother would actually supplement the $50 to cover for my daughter, and I want my daughter to be responsible for the money. And I don't wish for my mother to cover for her. I'm trying to educate my children to be responsible, and it would be like my mother to cover the $50. So by making sure that I saw the $5 Bahamian, it would assure me that she actually found it. So there was an argument, and they couldn't find so there was an argument that ensued Saturday night, and I suspected that Kathy's story wasn't jiving because they couldn't find the $5 Bahamian. So they hung up on me. I called back, and then they say, "Oh, we found $5 American in the pocket," and that seemed even more hokier. And so I become more upset because the story's not jiving. For 2 months solid, they've been telling me they had $5 Bahamian, and now I'm being lied to. I suspect I'm being lied to, and they hung up on me. I wanted to call Nicole only, and I'm on the phone with Nicole, and then Kathy's in the background making kind of smart-ass comments. And I'm trying to talk to my kid because I trust my kid. I trust Nicole. And it was just, I'm getting more excited because Kathy is in the background causing more trouble for me. And it's like she has no idea so anyways, when Nicole came home, we got all straightened out, really calm, and got all straightened out, and I believed it. It was a hokey story, but I guess the $5 Bahamian, which they swore for 2 months they had been exchanged over in the Bahamas before they got over here, and they didn't even know it, which sounds ridiculous, but I guess that's the story that I believe. And so I had it all settled, but I wanted to talk to my daughter, and I was just Kathy's involvement seems to get me excited because she has no idea how silly she sounds when she's like saying, "Oh, I got the $5 now. I got the $5 now," in the background, and I'm like, it was just so ridiculous. So it was after that I realized that how I must appear, because my dad was listening too, and I have large respect for my dad, and I realized that he probably thinks that I am could use some help. And the thing is I am human, and I want my children to be responsible for $50, and I don't want my mother to be covering the $50. So it was just a matter of finding out about the $50, that we actually found it, and I'm convinced that we did. So the problem was taken care of, but I realized that I must look like a lunatic after everybody's impression that I just beat up my mom, and then I've gotten excited over something over $5. They think it's about they thought, Chris, this is just about $5, and I'm like, no, this is about $50 and Nicole's responsibility, and Kathy perhaps covering for Nicole. It's about responsibility, and no matter how much I would get excited, they didn't seem to understand this. And see, I make sense. I can make complete sense, and they don't understand me. And then they think that I'm the problem because I'm getting excited trying to argue my point. This is the problem, is that a mentally ill guy gets excited because he's human. Well, that's no excuse. I cannot be human. That's the problem. So I wanted to document this for a police report, and for whoever is listening, to understand that I have the right to be human, and I wish for my kid to not be fat, and my kid to be responsible for $50. And I wish that a cousin did not put $50 as a response in the hands of my children. I wish that didn't happen, but it did, and we had to find the $50, and I believe that we did. But I'm a concerned parent, and I believe I'm very coherent and very and I have reasons for the things that I do, and I feel that I've done nothing wrong in making my in the things that I do. That I feel like Kathy needs to understand that she comes across as sort of a smartass. That she doesn't realize that she has no idea. It's kind of like a stupidity thing. She has no idea that she sounds so silly, telling me that she's going to take my kids to court. Take me to court, the court of my kids, and it's such a ludicrous statement. It's in 5 seconds it's like somebody's punching me in the face. It's like somebody's attacking me, and so it's a natural human instinct to want to argue or get excited over a silly statement. So I just want to assure the police, inform the police that I am human, that I have human rights. And my family, if they're listening to this, understand that I think I've done nothing wrong. I just want to document this so that we can move forward and hopefully and maybe get Kathy some help, because she refuses counseling. I just don't want this to occur again. I don't want any more conflict like this to occur again. Anyways, I think that's it. There was one last thing. I have a problem with me and my brother don't get along too well, and we were exchanging information in email. I question his motives involved in. He wants to be part of my family, part of my children, without ever talking to me He does not want to be associated with me, yet wants to be associated with the children. And I was questioning his motives, and what was going on with my family. It went around with my family, and Carrie, my sister Carrie says, you know, Chris, are you taking your meds? Now that's a volatile statement. That's something that infers instant anger, because it's a root state. It means that I'm no longer allowed to be human. I'm no longer allowed to protect my children. To say I'm concerned. I want my children to be safe. And Carrie's saying that I'm not allowed to be human. I'm not allowed to protect protect my children. And it's incorrect, and it's a volatile statement. That's the problem when you're mentally ill, is that this is the first thing that comes out of my family's mouth is, well, Chris must have a problem because he's getting excited again. And that's what I'm trying to state, that when I get excited, it's usually because somebody doesn't understand what I'm trying to say, and I am an extremely intelligent person who has a valid argument, and because others can't understand my viewpoint, and I'm getting excited by trying to tell them my viewpoint, and they still don't understand. That does not mean that I'm the problem. It means that they're the problem for not understanding my viewpoint. I think that's it. So to sum it up, I do not want what occurred with my mother to ever occur again. And that, because it looks bad on me, and yet at the same time, what I'm trying to say is, it's actually her fault. It's actually when Chris Roller says something, has an argument, gets excited, or makes a scene. It's usually because I have large amount of intelligence. That just because when I'm getting excited, that perhaps you should, so you guys looking at me when I'm getting excited, that you're actually looking at yourself to realize that you may not understand my viewpoint because you lack the intelligence or the respect of my needs, Kathy, in that situation, and others for thinking that when I have got concerns that I need medication, and that's incorrect. So again, this thing with my mother just got me concerned, and I just do not want it to happen again.
This is Officer Johnson from the Police Department in Redwood Falls.
Hi.
What can I do for you?
Oh, well, I just want to document. Just wanted to document. I sent an audio file explaining kind of a bad thing that occurred, and just want to document it just because. Well, I mean, it's explained in the audio.
Okay. Christopher, where are you living at? What's your current address?
I'm at 806 South Jefferson.
806 South Jefferson, and this is where this occurred?
Yes.
Okay, what date did this occur?
Friday the 13th.
Okay. And you're 6/14 of 67 is your DLB? Your date of birth, 6/14 of 1967?
That's right.
Okay. Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah, 952. 239. 6410.
6410 637 0918. I'm just doing the documentation as we speak. Have you spoken to your mother?
Yeah, we spoke, you know, 4 hours after the event. When we have arguments, it's usually resolved real quick. The thing is, I'm sorry?
Your phone cut out. What did you say?
Oh, when we have arguments, we resolve it pretty quick. We don't like hold grudges too often, too quick.
Okay.
The thing is something long-term could have occurred there. You know, she luckily doesn't have any long-term effects from falling down.
Hmm.
We don't want her to fall down again.
Well, it doesn't sound to me like she fell down. I listened to your audio tape, and it sounds to me like you grabbed her.
Well, I was escorting her out. I was.
I know, but when you put your hands on somebody and then they fall, her falling was not because she just tripped and fell. Her falling was merely because you had your hands on her. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's not as if it's just like she was walking out of your house and tripped and fell on her face.
No, I was
So
escorting her out. That's.
Mhm.
Did you hear my analogy about if she invades my space and we had a standing order between us to.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is the law doesn't look at it that way. The law doesn't look at it as you guys have an agreement. If you guys disagree, she needs to leave immediately. What you're supposed to do if someone's on your property and they don't leave, you don't go hands-on and force them to leave. You call the police and we escort them out. Then you don't have to worry about any liabilities. It's still considered a domestic assault if somebody falls on their face. Now, it's non-reported. She hasn't contacted us to report this, but you just contacted us and informed us of this offense. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I still feel I did nothing wrong.
Well, I understand that you feel that way, but that's not the case. Okay, let's put it this way. If your mom was walking out and your hands were not on her, would the chances of her falling be probable?
She stopped cold. She was on her way out. She stopped cold to resist. I didn't know she was going to stop. I did not know this was going to occur.
Mm-hmm.
She stopped cold because she felt like it, and next thing you know, an accident occurred. It's not my fault, ma'am.
Okay. What's your mother's phone number?
It is 507
Mm-hmm.
644 5555.
5555?
Well, she's actually away from. You want to talk to her right now? I got a cell phone that you might want.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Six 385.
Your phone cut out. 612 what?
Yep, 385
Uh-huh.
5151.
5151? Okay. I'll give her a call and I'll chat with her a little bit and I will give you a call back, Christopher.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Yes, ma'am.
This is Officer Johnson. I can't get a hold of your mother. She doesn't answer her cell phone. It goes to voicemail. So I will probably try to get in touch with her tomorrow and chat with her in regards to this. I guess I'm confused as to why you're making a complaint to the police department. If someone fell and it's nothing criminal, it's not reportable to the police department. So I'm concerned as to why you want a report filed with us.
Ma'am,
We only deal with
concerned-
criminal matters. That's it.
Right. This is not really this is an accident that occurred, and I'm just concerned for my mom's health. A complete accident like that, I'm concerned that I don't want that to occur again. I don't know exactly what I don't know what to do to inform Kathy, my mom, that she needs to be, how do I say it, more respectful, or just how can I say, I got away from a bad relationship in the cities because she kept arguing all the time. It's going to be hard to get away from my mom because I'm afraid an accident like this, it was a complete accident, that it might occur again. I mean, you know, it took place in literally 10 seconds. It wasn't like I had time to call the police. I didn't know she was going to stop. I'm just concerned. I don't want to hurt my mom. I didn't mean to hurt her. I don't know. It's an uncomfortable situation. I got away from a bad relationship in the cities, away from a girl because it's just it's going to be hard to stay away from my mom.
Yeah, but you have to also understand, we don't get involved in civil matters, and if you want to document it because your mother fell, that's a civil matter. I investigate criminal matters, and if your mother got pushed, that's a domestic assault charge.
Well, I don't mean to look I don't mean to ignite my own assault charge. I'm looking to resolve this so it never occurs again. The accident.
So what are you looking for? I mean, we're not going to get in the middle of a civil matter, and if there was nothing criminal that happened there, I mean, you know your rights, you're a smart individual, you know about orders for protection, harassment, restraining orders. I mean, you should be able to speak to your mother and explain the situation, shouldn't you?
Well, we've talked before, and I have to hang up on her a lot over the phone, and when I'm at her home and we have an argument, we leave the room immediately. I leave the room immediately because we have a standing order that says we have a problem, we need to go away. The thing is, it just sucked. It was just a sucky situation, and I don't know what to do to, perhaps, she won't go to counseling with me or anything I don't think she knows she has a problem. And
well, I mean, I can't make your mother go to counseling.
That's what I guess I was hoping, is that we could at least get some professional help here.
No, all I can tell you is if a criminal matter occurred, then I'll investigate the criminal matter. You know, if you guys can't spend time together without conflicts like this, then you guys should stay away from each other. You know, I don't understand how something as simple as just, you know, not wanting her to feed your daughter specific food has to turn into someone getting injured. And, you know, if I can prove that an assault took place, if that's deemed an assault, then charges will be dealt with through the state. You know, and if it's not, then, you know, that's something, you know, on a civil matter that you guys are going to have to work out amongst yourselves. Are you there?
Yeah, I
mean, do you think you have a problem with your anger?
She has a volatile mouth, and
No.
by telling me that she can feed my kid, I was just asking, can we just, you know, watch what she eats? And she said, no, I'll feed her whatever I want. And so I'm like, well, listen, don't take Nicole today. We'll just keep her here. And then she said something to the effect of, well, then I'll take you to court for over the kids. And I'm like, how ludicrous is that? Just get out.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, you can disagree, and that's fine. And, I mean, it would be quite the process for her to take your child away from you during your child's summer, you know, your legal rights to your child. That's pretty difficult for that to even occur. And you know that. And, you know, when a situation like that happens, why wouldn't you just call law enforcement and we would see to it that she leaves your residence instead of you taking it upon yourself to escort her out of your residence? Especially since you guys are both heated.
Yeah, you know, I wish I could have done it over, but
Sure.
It was sort of just the smart-ass way that she comes across, and stupidity. You know, it's like, how can you take me to court? Like you said, she can't do that. It's just like a ludicrous statement. And
she can try, but she ain't going to succeed. It isn't going to be a very easy process.
Right, and at the time, it's so ludicrous to me and stupid and disrespectful to everything that I just said, just get out. And, you know, yeah, it was just, you know, something that occurred, and I, you know, wish I could do it over.
How have things been since this incident between you and your mom?
Well, we talk every day. Well, I mean, she comes over here, she picks up the kid. It's just like it was. It's just, I don't want that to occur again.
Well, and how do you think that can be prevented?
Say again?
And how do you think that can be prevented?
Perhaps not having any contact with her.
No, then maybe that's what you need to do. Has she talked to you about the incident, and does she feel that you were wrong? Does she feel like it's your fault?
Well, she has said I pushed her, that I did it, but like I say, it's we forgave each. I mean, it's just I'm just. It was just a bad thing I don't want to occur again, and
Well, bad things like that happen all the time, but if you pushed her, Christopher, if you genuinely indeed did do that, then there's going to be things that are going to come about that we're going to have to deal with because you can't be pushing your mother. You know, if she got injured because you put your hands on her, then, you know, that's deemed as an assault. And if it's, you know, between the two of you mutual where you guys were both trying to, you know, she was trying to get out of the house, you were trying to make her get out of the house, and she doesn't deem it as an assault, then, you know, that'll be an issue you guys can deal with amongst yourselves. And so, but I'll get in touch with her tomorrow, and we'll talk a little bit more. And I guess I'll get back to you and let you know what's going to come about from this. But, you know, you can't be pushing each other and, you know, having her get hurt. And so, and I think probably not being around each other is probably the best thing right now. Are you there?
yeah, the last thing I wanted was to get myself into trouble here, but I just sort of want I don't know.
Well, I think if she wanted you to get in trouble, she would have already called.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so, I mean, it's been, what, 4 days?
Yeah.
And so if, you know, if she wanted you to get in trouble, I think she would have called. And so I will talk to her and I will see what she has to say about this. And if she feels that it's just a, you know, a misunderstanding between the two of you guys, then there's not a whole lot more I can do about it. And if she feels that it's where you were wrong, then that's something that the courts will have to deal with, not me. You know what I'm saying? And so I'll get in touch with her tomorrow and chat with her. But, you know, if you can't be around her without things getting to that point, then you guys shouldn't be around each other. And so it's not healthy and it's not safe, and what's going to end up happening, someone's going to get hurt or arrested.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Officer Johnson, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yep, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, first,
When were you thinking?
well, Nicole, what time are you thinking? You want to do it today or no? Ping pong today?
I'm not sure if today.
Oh, maybe not today. Okay. Yeah, this is also going to call it first Rob, then me. You know, right after I talked to you earlier today, the police knocked at the door. You know, and so to make it quick and short, I spent 2 hours in jail, and then I bailed myself out, and it kind of made it a little bit worse because I on the way out, well, I was trying to joke around that, hey, isn't this the '60s where, and I was gonna run outside to get the DeLorean, you know, the DeLorean, and that joke didn't fly so well. So now I got an extra charge for that one.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
Well, it was meant to be a joke, so I gotta explain that now. So that yeah, they got a court date set up and everything, and
Oh boy.
So now you got to be short a keyboard player. See, I didn't realize you were talking about the keyboard player earlier when you were mentioning short band members.
Oh boy. What a rip. Well, I told you the story about the guy out at the fair, didn't I?
What happened?
Remember the Renville County police guy, police sheriff, Renville County police guy that was down there walking through the...
Yeah, no sense of humor. Yeah, that guy, yep.
Yeah, right. Same thing.
I mean, you get it.
You know,
you get it. I was talking about the DeLorean so that I could go back to the future, right? Back in time, to the '60s.
Yeah.
That was the joke, and then it backfired. Whoops.
he never got the joke then, huh?
Well, he kind of he had to file it, and then I got to explain it later.
Who was the guy?
I'm not even sure.
Was it a deputy, a county guy, or a city guy?
It was just local here.
Oh, okay. As if we need more stuff to take up our time in the justice system.
So,
You know, how stupid.
how are you on that mixer? Is that going okay?
I haven't touched the mixer.
Okay.
I got up at 4:30 this morning and I just got home.
Okay. Oh, you just got home. Wow. Oh, you've been gone all day. Okay.
I've been gone the whole day. As soon as I got home at noon, I went and did some things for my parents. Then I got in the car again at 2 o'clock, and I drove all the way to Winthrop, and then back from Winthrop, I went to Sleepy Eye in Springfield. I went to 12 different towns today and hung posters for my mom and dad's auction.
Oh, I
So I
see.
just walked in.
Okay.
I walked in the door 5 minutes ago.
Holy cow! So I'm sure you put it on Craigslist and everything, right?
The auction?
Yep.
No, I didn't. I actually didn't do that. Can you do that?
Of course. Yeah. You can do anything. Yeah. Auction, of course.
I should do that. I better do that on Southwest Minnesota.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Huh. Well, and I got to do it on the Marshall Hobby Trader too. That's what I got to do it on too. Well, so you're not going to ping pong today then?
I guess not. I thought yesterday she was begging for it, and I thought they would just ask for it today, but maybe tomorrow we'll give a call.
Okay, well, you got to remember tomorrow after 4:30 I'll be at the fair in Bird Island with Luke and Curly.
Oh yeah. What time's the thing at? What time's the?
The contest is at 6:30.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll. Anybody videotaping it or what?
Not that I know of, unless you show up.
Oh, maybe I'll do that then.
Well, it's up to you, but it costs like $5 to get in unless the kids are 12 or under, but Nicole could,
Yeah.
you could probably pass for that, so maybe even Dylan, I don't know. But anyway.
You guys still got to pay too then, or?
Well, we hope that we can drive through the equipment, load in,
Yep.
pay, and then get in and not have to pay. We did that last year, but the year before we couldn't do that, so. But hopefully this year we can. They were pretty good about it last year. So.
All right. Well.
But anyway.
All right.
Well, okay. Well, I'll be around Redwood tomorrow. I might be working at my mom and dad's again, trying to get more stuff loaded up. So.
Okay.
When do the kids gotta go home?
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll be in touch with you. I gotta call that girl right after supper and find out if she can make it on Monday night too.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Hey Scott, Chris Roller. Hey, I just wanted to let you know that I didn't go to jail yesterday. Kathy was mentioning the rumor mill, and I figured that it was probably not a good idea to mention this to you guys. It's because it gets around town. Kathy's a little embarrassed by it all. I guess I am too, but I figured the jokester that I am, I figured I'd spread it around town that I went to jail and that my mom turned me in and stuff. So actually, we didn't even know that. Anyways, it could have been out of our hands for all we know when I called the police, but. Yeah, it turns out that I didn't go to jail, but I thought it was kind of funny. I figured it kind of created a storm in town, So it was a joke, but the incident with my mom did occur. But anyways, my kids were telling me that, oh, Chris, you got to tell him, Chris, don't. What are you doing, man? Call him back up. Come on. So I figured I better say something. I think you guys have figured it out, but anyways, see you tonight. Bye.
It from you about running a business in this economy. I'll play the message, and then I'll be very happy to answer any questions that you may have after that. It's less than a minute.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House and current General Chairman of American Solutions, the nation's foremost group in proposing real-life solutions to the problems facing our country. I don't have to tell you that President Obama's agenda of higher spending, bigger government, has resulted in a severe credit crunch not seen in 3 generations, more government interference in your day-to-day operations, and the ultimate job killer, inflation. But I am here to tell you that we can turn things around. And those responsible for the turnaround will be entrepreneurs and job creators like you, not some government bureaucrat in Washington, D.C., who has never run a business, never met a payroll, and never executed a marketing plan, even if he does happen to be president. The reason I'm confident it can be done is because when I served as the Speaker of the House, we balanced the budget for 4 consecutive years and allowed job creators like you to create millions of new jobs for Americans all across the country. Notice I said you created the jobs. That's precisely why I'm calling. I would be honored if you would stand with me in the coming weeks up to November and beyond. I've asked my assistant to fill you in on all the details and make all the necessary arrangements to have you join our team. Now please hold on the line a moment longer and my assistant will come back on the line. Thanks for listening.
Hello, hi. Mr. Roller?
Yep.
This is Eileen Fraze. Did you hear Newt okay?
Yep.
As you know, President Obama has done nothing to help the small business community, and in fact, he's done everything he can to tear it down. The fact is you are surviving one of the worst economies in our history, and that speaks volumes to your determination. And it is companies like yours that will weather the storm and continue to define our free market system as the best in the world. Just like the companies that survived the Great Depression, and your sustainability throughout these difficult months proves that President Obama can't bring down free enterprise no matter how hard he tries, because he has done a lot of damage to the small business community. Quite honestly, we think Obama's jealous of you and your success because you've done it without any help from government, and that goes against Obama's secular socialist mentality. Now, just a minute here. That's why Newt is stepping up in a big way to unite the business community, to get the message out to Washington that the real savior of the American economy will not be Washington bureaucrats, but our small businessmen and women. And Newt asked me to call today because you've been selected to serve on his Jobs and Prosperity Task Force. Now, representing Minnesota, a group he'll rely on for advice and counsel. And there's no mandatory time commitment in the task force, but you will receive private surveys to give your input on the key issues like taxes and repealing the corrupt health care bill and starting over, and give guidance on what you've done to be successful. And you'll be invited to the VIP receptions and also receive a certificate of appointment signed by Newt. Excuse me, hold on. Along with a replica of Newt's speaker's gavel, and we need to send out a local press release announcing your appointment. So can I tell Newt you'll accept and serve on the task force?
Oh goodness, I don't think I can do this.
Those surveys come out like 4 times a year. Right now, we're obviously, in the worst economy since the Great Depression, and this anti-business climate is exactly why, for over a year, we've worked to put together a real plan for job creation, and we're thrilled to announce that Representatives Jim Jordan, Republican of Ohio, and Jason Chaffetz, Republican of Utah, have introduced our tax reforms as a bill, H.R. 5029, in the House of Representatives. And their bill, the Economic Freedom Act, would reduce the payroll tax by half for 2010, eliminate the capital gains tax and death tax, and reduce the corporate tax rate to 12.5%. Now, Mr. Roller, a lot of people are asking themselves, how can we take our country back? And that starts with passing this bill, which will immediately put pressure on Obama to veto it, sending his poll numbers plummeting even further. So let me ask you this. Can I tell Newt you'll help co-sponsor our campaign to rally public support for this bill with a gift of $300 or $500? And I did want to mention that unlike other organizations, we can't accept corporate contributions. Can I tell Newt you'll help?
Oh no, I'm a really small business. I don't even fit the description that you talked about as far as I'm just myself as an employee, so I'm really small here.
That's okay. You know, I understand, Mr. Roller. I know it's a lot to ask for right now, but we do need to make sure the voice of the American people and the voice of small business is heard loud and clear during these times. And primary election results are showing that Americans want meaningful change at all levels of government. And Mr. Roller, could we count on you to help sponsor our campaign with a much smaller amount of $100, $200? Would that work better for you? I can split it to 2 payments if you'd like.
Man,
That's fine.
after that bank bailout thing, I really have a hard time respecting any form of government, whether it's Democrat or Republican or anybody, because it's such a joke. That and Republicans caused, I mean, everybody caused the banks to get bailed out, which was really basically thievery, and I cannot respect anybody. I cannot respect anything anymore in government. So, you really, maybe I wasted your time here, but it's
No, that's fine. Actually, you can fill out surveys. They do come out 4 times a year. We do have a website. It's www.americansolutions.com. AmericanSolutions.com/jobsfirst, FIRST.
I mean, if you want some money, why don't you just ask the banks or the government for money? I mean, it's really that simple. That's how you guys work. I mean, it really is that simple. All you gotta do is vote your own pay raise, and you got it made, right? There you go.
I don't know. Why, thank you.
That's how it works. So I mean, why are you asking me for money when you can just vote for yourself, right?
Newt has a 4-point plan, and it's to help our businesses. And his 4-point plan would be reducing the tax for this year by half, eliminating the capital gains and the death tax. And we're just wanting to help out the businesses, get all your input. Now, on the website, if you go underneath the red banner on the right, there's links to lending a hand to job creators. These are video-type comments from the business owners. So scroll down the right side of the page to the article about Jobs First, and under the red banner on the right, there are links to lending a hand to job creators.
Oh, yeah, I didn't make it to the website. I just, yeah, no. I mean, yeah. That is so strange that you'd be asking for money when you can simply look that you can just ask the banks. Ask the banks. I mean, your relatives called the congressman voted for a bank hookup, so the banks can hook you guys up. I mean, it works back and forth. That's how it works. It's a.
Well, I'm calling for American Solutions, but I do want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me. You have a great day.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.